Hey, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. For me, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, what I wanted to do today was show you what I do when making picks to start with. Um, the tip, I have a fair idea as to what type of tip that I want to make before I start. And 9 times out of 10, I end up with the shape tip that I actually started out trying to achieve. But the only thing that is consistent with 90% of my picks is the shape of the handle. One, because it fits comfortably in my hand, and two, well, the way that I pick, which these days isn't very well, but the way that the pick sits is comfortable for me. Um, this is more or less generic for how I make my picks these days. For myself, even though this one is going to somebody else early next week, and it won't be staying with myself. This is how I make it. I like here to have a particular slope down to the start of the pick, and obviously, as I said, the tip is something that I concentrate on later. Most important bit for me is this part of the handle. This back bit of the handle you can either keep straight like a standard pick, but I tend to raise it up slightly and then slope it off towards the bottom, and the back of it will look like that. Now, the reason I do that, I've got quite small hands, about 7, 8 I think it is, or is that my hand size? I don't know. Anyway, they're quite small. But what I do like when I'm holding my pick is my finger to be about here, and then I can put it on the side of the lock, as so. Let me see if I've got a lock. The hand. Yeah, here's a lock. Let's take the key out. He says, easier said than done. Okay, so with the lock, my hand is sitting somewhat like this. So as you can see, for me it's a comfortable way of working. So I've got that's sitting there, that's important for me, and as you can see, this part of the pick is sitting at the back. Now, so I hold it like that. That's important. When it comes to looking at the pick like that, obviously I haven't done a particularly good job because it's not 100% flat with both sides, but in saying that, when you get a piece of steel as such, as you can see, some of them are slightly arched. They're never going to be perfectly flat anyway, but they do have flat sides. So what I tend to do is take the pick, place it towards, how can I get this in screen, place it towards the bottom of the steel, and I tend to run the longest flat side of the pick against the steel, giving myself enough room this end so I haven't got to shape this bit at all the way till about here when the pick starts to bend. Okay, so when the tip, let's see if I can get that in focus, yeah, so the whole of this part is straight. It's not till here, this part, it actually starts to bend. Okay, so what I'm going to go and do is, so that this isn't a massively long, boring, laborious video, I'm going to mark this up myself in a moment off camera, and come back. Now, the reason I'm going to be doing this is because I want to show you how it looks. I'm not going to worry too much about the tip. My main concern is about the handle and how the handle's going to look. And then once I've got the handle correct, I can continue with doing the tip of the pick, and obviously finalising the end. As you can see, the shape of this one. But there are many others, and obviously many shapes that you can make. So give me a moment, and I'll come back once I've marked that up. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So that's a duplicate of this handle wise. And as you can see, going up to when the pick starts to curve, the rest of it is flat. This is enabling you to leave this flat. It gives less grinding, less shaping. There are lots of ways that you can do this from here. You can saw this off, which is what I will be doing with just your standard hacksaw. Nothing ingenious. Or if you're lucky enough to have a Dremel with a cutting tool that will cut through the steel, use the Dremel. You can also use, for this part here, this bit here, you can again use the hacksaw, or you can actually use a Dremel to it. It's quite laborious if you're going to grind it all the way down. I will show you both options, and I will show you some grinding. That's with the machine. That's not me trying to dance or do something sexy. I will show you once again the water, because quenching your steel is very, very important. The cooler the steel, the straighter the steel, the stronger the steel. As I've learnt to my detriment, because I do have many mistakes, and I think you can't learn till you make a mistake anyway. If it was all plain sailing, it'd be pretty boring. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll pause this again, I'll get the machine going, and I'll start some grinding of this pick. And then in a later YouTube video, hopefully you all know my YouTube channel by now, we'll actually cover the next part, which is going to be making the handle to go with this. And there's many options when it comes to materials, but in this instance I'm probably going to use this blue or this red. If however I'm feeling experimental, which is very unlikely, I'm going to make a tiger, leopard, lion, whatever, if you know birds of a feather in the UK, very Dorian style handle to this. I will probably be on the phone if I do this to someone like Harry Bow or someone like that, saying, help, how the fucking hell do I cut this? But that's another story. That's for me to figure out, not you. This is supposed to be instructional. Okay, leave it there for the second, and I will be back with another boring segment of how fat men make picks. Alright. Okay, welcome back. This is a standard nothing flash grinder. In this instance it's a McAllister. This was really expensive. It was $19.99. So probably the cheapest one on the market at the moment, but it still does the job. It comes with, like most of you that may or may not know, comes with a coarser wheel, and it comes with a finer wheel. Now for some reason I tend to use the finer wheel more than others. They don't have straight edges left on these, unfortunately. It's because I've been using it so much and I've probably rounded them off. Should have been using this one a bit more. This will be slightly loud, and all I'm going to do is, as you see, this is smudging already, hence the reason I should have done what I normally do, which is permanent marker, colour in your steel, get yourself a nice scratching marking tool, and mark your steel up on the permanent marker, so it leaves it easy to shape. But as I said, this is just a quick demonstration. I will actually finish the pickup later on. So as you see, I've got this here. I'm not going to grind all of it because it will be very loud, quite boring. This is the tip and this is the end. All I'm going to be doing is showing you how I do this little bit here, and more importantly, this glass of water. It's so important that you quench the steel, because one, it does get bloody hot for your fingers, but two, as I found, your steel does buckle, and the cooler the steel, the stronger the steel, as I've been told many times in the past, and it does work, trust me. So bear with the noise for a second, he says. That's moving quite a bit, so always make sure that your surface is. There's your first mistake. You see, I had a marble chopping board or marking board, whatever you want to call it, in the way. So even safety is key, and that gave you a good idea. I was so busy talking to you that I forgot to do it. It is on a marble board that I use for sanding, etc, etc, which really did cock up because it started sliding, because they do vibrate quite a bit. Let's turn that back on again. It's totally your choice whether you use gloves or safety glasses or masks. I tend to not as much. I use these plastic guards you can see here to stop things flying in my eyes, because your eyes are important. You don't want to get anything in them. I do have some glasses somewhere, but here we go. I'll stop talking because this is going to be quite loud. Right, as you can see, hopefully, yeah, there, that's better. As you can see, coming down to the line, and what I tend to do is come down to around about here, come down to around about here, so you got like a little humpback bridge. Then I look at how far I'm going to extend the pick back. As I say, I've got fairly short hands, but the next one that I send out may be for someone with slightly bigger hands, so I'll probably just extend this a little bit further, so that it sits nice, and then the tip, I've got all of this room here. They're normally about 1.5 inches, 2 inches long, to be honest with you, the tips that I make. So the tip will come up to here, so this will be all flush like this, and it's less grinding for you. I'll probably cut a chunk out of here with a hacksaw and cut a bit off the end there, make it easier. It will come up to about here. I'm probably going to go for a standard hook, but I may do a half diamond. I really do like the shape of these tips like this. This is one that I played around with. I'm probably still playing around with, and by the time I send it to someone it will look completely different. This I was privileged enough to get from someone, and Matt made this for me, and this has got the sort of hook that I'm probably going to put on here So let's hope that we get this sort of hook, or this sort of hook. He says, come on camera, onto this steel, but hopefully that gives you some sort of guidance as to what I will do when it comes to steel. It's not rocket science, and anyone that has an ounce of knowledge to do with woodwork, metalwork, building, anything like that will be in a lot better position than me. I've always sat in an office, and I'm old, so I hope that helps. There will be some later clips now and again of how I got on with this and where it went and who I sent it to. Hopefully they will show it off as well. But that's all for today. It's a Sunday. I'm going to go in and have my roast lamb, and I bid you all farewell. As I say, please try and check out my YouTube channel. It's not great, but it's me, and I'm trying my best. So anyway, that's another production by Fat Bastards Picks for Zeus. I am Zeus and I am a fat bastard, so it's all done by me. There you go. Don't forget, as I say, whenever you're playing with steel, put safety first. These can give some nasty shit in the eyes, but so use the guards. If you want gloves and a face mask, but we wear enough face masks these days, I guess, that you may not want to do it. But stay safe. Enjoy your Sunday dinners. Alright, bye bye.